I have found out there is no justice in Canada. It was something I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I chose to be a businesswoman. I don't know which was worse because they don't want businesswomen. And the law society is so corrupt that you have to experience it or you'll never understand and you wouldn't believe it. So I'm going to share what I've been through so everyone can understand how despicable Canada is in law and justice. And I'm so glad that I didn't sell my soul to be a lawyer. You guys can see when I publish my 1945-page affidavit because people need to know. And I'm a journalist, and that's what I do. I expose the corruption in government. This is my 10-page statement, filed on April 22nd, 2025. On March 23rd, 2023, I rented a truck from the defendant with the intention of moving my personal and business merchandise from Toronto, Ontario to Calgary, Alberta. On March 28, 2023, the Penske truck began to have mechanical issues that caused the dashboard to light up with warning signs in Manitoba. Penske was informed and a mechanic arrived on site, checked under the vehicle with a jack, and assured me it was safe to drive. Later that day in Saltcote, Saskatchewan, the dashboard warning lights came on again, and the sound under the hood sounded unsafe to drive. This time, the vehicle was towed to Moosomin, where it remained in the shop for 3 days. The towing was done on an angle instead of on a flatbed, and the truck was taken off-road on a bumpy, snowy road for an hour and a half to 2 hours, causing extensive damage to the contents in the back of the truck. The truck was towed a second time when the tow truck driver stopped to attend to another truck. The vehicle was repaired at the shop in Moosomin, and the dashboard warning lights came on again in Sherwood Park, Alberta, indicating repairs were still needed. The truck was then dropped off at the Penske shop in Edmonton, and the contents of the truck were unloaded to a storage unit, as instructed by Penske, where they remain today. Penske's representatives have been horrific to deal with, causing me enormous loss that continues to get worse each day as they refuse to communicate with me on anything. I live in Toronto. I find myself tangled up in a messy insurance legal battle where the Penske representatives have all abused the process. Their negligence in handling this in a timely and efficient manner has caused additional unnecessary losses, delays, abuse, and harm that never should have happened had they dealt with me fairly. I'm a professional businesswoman specializing in the retail clothing industry. I currently operate a Canadian Poshmark account online, Nightna, an American Poshmark account online, Nightna Co., and an eBay store since 2004 as Bikini Co. I formerly operated a physical retail location called Surf Coat and Chocolate Bikini Company in both West Edmonton Mall and Cadillac Fairview's Eaton Centre Mall in Edmonton. I've held this position since 1997. On January 2007, my retail store, Surfco, was ranked number 1 in the unisex category for the Sales Performance Report in the largest shopping mall in North America. Surfco sales were $90,458.23 for the month, placing the store in first place out of 65 other competing brands. The other competing brands included corporations such as Banana Republic, Eddie Bauer, Esprit, Max, Quicksilver, Abercrombie & Fitch, American Eagle, Below the Belt, Club Monaco, Daniel Leather, Forever 21, G-Star Raw, Gap, Guess, Hollister, Lacoste, Le Chateau, Lululemon, Marks, Old Navy, Roots, Tommy Hilfiger, Urban Outfitters, West 49, Zara, and Zazu. I also formerly operated an e-commerce store. I developed, updated, merchandised, and graphic designed an e-commerce website on Shopify. This began as surfco.com in 2015 and continued in 2020 using the domain name nightna.com. until the actions of the Penske Group forced me to close that store in 2023. Night was a vintage surf shop. Business became frustrating and hopeless because I am unable to ship out orders that are stranded in the city of Edmonton, Alberta, in the remote outdoor storage unit. I was forced to shut down this online platform because of the Penske event and cancel many orders as a result, and the cost to build and now rebuild that website was ignored by the defendant. I'm very great at both business and fashion, and I searched the world to bring the best to my stores. I tried my hardest to succeed in a very competitive industry that is controlled by people in positions of power who use that power against you. I'm the president of a media company operating as American Dream, under the Tigress and Lioness names. I'm an investigative journalist primarily focusing on the commercial real estate industry. I'm a filmmaker who reports on the destruction of commercial tenants by landlord leases that are unattainable by their sales, the mass closure of retail stores across the nation, the mass immigration problem, and other important issues that are not being exposed to the public through the mainstream media. I'm an expert on this topic. I document the retail collapse, exposing the corruption and destruction that continues to happen because reporters and tenants are silenced through non-disclosure agreements and confidentiality clauses, and I create content to influence political opinions. I'm very passionate about this from my history of watching the commercial real estate industry implode, and my content has grown to become what it is today, mastering the art of mixing knowledge and politics with music, creating videos that nobody ever else has. I began this media career in 2014. The Penske accident caused me to lose the domain name to this business, among many others. I have extensively reported on the North American retail industry, documenting and studying world trade in over 140 of the largest shopping malls in North America, including the Canadian cities of Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Regina, Saskatoon, Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton, Scarborough, Burlington, Hamilton, and Ottawa. In America, I've documented major retail destinations in New York, New Jersey, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, Houston, and Miami. I have reported historically on the closure of Nordstrom, documenting that department store's closure in all 6 locations in the major cities, including Toronto, Etobicoke, Ottawa, Vancouver, and Calgary, closed. In addition, I documented, photographed, and videoed the closure of Nordstrom Rack. The Penske accident interfered with the story, as I was unable to arrive at the Calgary location until after it had already closed. This is an example of an event in time that I can't get back and money can't fix. I will never get those photographs again. The Penske accident is also currently impeding on the time that I would otherwise be spending documenting the historical closure of the Hudson's Bay Company department store. But instead, I'm forced to file a lawsuit just to get paid for an event that has continued to harm me for over 2 years. I have photographed and documented 40 of the Hudson's Bay Company's locations across the country in the last few years. I have reported on city shootings, stabbings, filmed the mass fentanyl crisis in Edmonton, reported on the mass immigration that has resulted in infrastructure problems, interviewed the mayor of Edmonton on the collapse of the city, interviewed journalists, and reported on other events alongside the mainstream media, such as the conviction of renowned fashion designer Peter Nygaard in Toronto. I have investigated and videoed the oversaturation of cranes that are being used to build skyscrapers in Toronto, interviewed developers, monitored the trade, and correlated how these events connect together. I have reported on the New York and Houston homeless crisis and covered a New York protest in front of Chuck Schumer's office. I filmed the 3 series of NHL playoffs with ESPN and Sportsnet in Edmonton and their Stanley Cup run, filming on site at Rogers Place every game up until the final Game 7, and I'm an honest, ethical journalist. Communication by email has been a complete waste of everybody's time. The technique of email has been abused and used as a weapon to avoid answering questions when asked, avoid accountability, and purposely delay the process to force me to file this in court. This is the fault of the group of the Penske representatives, who all knowingly caused this serious loss over the last 2 years. They continue to cause loss each day that this is ignored, and now again are using email as a technique to delay filing a statement of defense. No other communication has transpired verbally since October 2023 with Gregory Davis, the claims supervisor of Gallagher Bassett in the Toronto office. My statement of claim was written under immense pressure, rushed without legal representation, having to book a last-minute trip from Miami, Florida, back to Toronto to file it in time. It needed to be filed by that date or risk being tossed out on the grounds that it exceeded the statute of limitations. I have considered filing an amended statement of claim, but I was also not expecting to be dealing with a brand new lawyer at Beardwinter LLP. Jillian Van Ellen, who is unfamiliar with the claim, replaced Alexander Curry, whom I've been communicating with since 2023. For them to try and throw it out on a technical error, knowing full well this case has merit, is disgraceful on the defendant's side. The Beardwinter law firm are the ones making this a frivolous lawsuit by wasting my time for 2 years on this matter that has increased in value over time as they refuse to do basically any work at all. Their side offered abusive amounts of $10,470.50, $25,000, and then $33,000 without any legal basis for doing so. Their numbers were meaningless, backed up by nothing, while sitting with and ignoring the very detailed work that I provided to them. They passed me off to multiple groups of people, forcing me to begin again and explain the story yet another time, purposely making mistakes to cause unnecessary confusion. The insurance companies and law firm both abused the litigation process using the communication technique of email, and their abusive process was not justified as I provided everything they asked for, so there was no need for it to be dealt with inefficiently. On April 15th and 16th, I had 6 2-inch binders of evidence sworn in an affidavit of Dana Proctor. I sent the Beardwinter law firm digital copies of this evidence in 120 emails. I assumed that Alexander Curry of that same law firm would share all of this information with his colleague in the next room of a building he attends to practice law in, and I wouldn't have to waste any more time explaining this all to her again. I'm exhausted from doing this work. It has wasted so much of my time. I'm still waiting to be paid for all of the other time that I've wasted because of the Canadian representatives. Mr. Curry has demonstrated an email abuse problem, where he refused to respond until Friday of the week, so he didn't have to deal with my emails all weekend. I've found myself having to repeat my communication over and over again without ever getting proper responses. This was how every representative in Canada behaved on behalf of Penske. And again, Jillian had an automatic response sent to me on the 15th when I emailed her the affidavit that she was out of the office until Friday, which was a holiday. I'm requesting verbal communication, in person preferably, so I know whom I'm speaking with and am treated with respect. I've had 2 years of malicious, irresponsible, disrespectful treatment that needs to stop. I do not like Canada's representatives. The American representatives that I dealt with before them did not act this way and seemed genuinely interested in helping me. They just couldn't because it wasn't their jurisdiction. And had communication and negotiations happened, we wouldn't be in this situation today. Jillian Van Ellen is now attempting to get this claim thrown out on a frivolous or vexatious claim, when that law firm knows my claim has merit. Alexander Curry took the claim on December 18, 2023. He forbid me from speaking with his clients that included Penske, Old Republic, and Gallagher Bassett, and made 3 frivolous offers of $10,470.50, $25,000, and $33,000 over 2 years on a 57-page list of items that they were presented with that totaled $93,816.90. Not one word of verbal communication was ever spoken to Mr. Curry. Jillian Van Allen entered the Alberta Court of Queen's Bench cases into this file with the intent of getting this case stayed or dismissed on a vexatious, frivolous litigation on my side, which shows she has no knowledge in this case, and their team will try anything to get this case dismissed. This Penske insurance case is absolutely of its own merit. However, it also ties into that case through the connection of our shared common landlord, Oxford Properties, who has a vested interest in financially harming me. Conversation with Shailene McGeechee from Claims Pro in Edmonton began when she met me at the Edmonton storage unit, and I agreed to make a recorded statement to her. I was confident in doing so because I came prepared with a written statement that detailed all of the dates of the important events, people's names, and emails so I could refer to it and not speak in errors. I presented this to her in order with ease. This statement explained the enormous trouble I had for the month and a half prior to our meeting of getting redirected to many other individuals who could not help me. Shailene was given a copy of it. These insurance companies hope you don't come prepared so they can use this information against you if you make a mistake. They want you to give up and go away so they don't have to pay you out. I also recorded this statement for my own protection and uploaded it to my YouTube channel, Tigress. This initial statement that I gave her on June 28, 2023, proves that the very first thing that I told Shailene from Claims Pro was that I operated a small business online. She confirmed that she heard it correctly when she repeated it all back to me herself. This is the transcript from our interview that day.
Pro Adjusters. Today's date is June 28th, 2023. It's currently 11 o'clock a.m. This is a statement of Dana Proctor in relation to the Penske claim presented. Dana, do you understand that this claim is being recorded? That the statement's being recorded?
Yes.
Okay. And I have your permission to record your statement. Yes. What is your occupation?
I'm a small business owner. I own a retail store that operates on multiple platforms online.
Okay, so it's an online business.
Yeah. Okay. And I haven't gone through any boxes at all of breakables. I put the merchandise on the one side of the storage unit, and that's mostly clothing, so that stuff should be fine.
Okay, and is this a mixture between your business contents and your personal contents? Okay.
Yes.
And for your business, do you sell clothes?
I'm upset, and I mean, I've calmed down a lot now since it's happened, and I have been able to process a few orders and stuff. I've had to shut down my American Poshmark because I'm stuck here and there's no American second-party shipping company that what I used in Toronto. There's a company called Stallion Express. There's not that here, and there's nothing that's even similar. There's Stallion Express in Calgary, but I can't. So I just put it on a vacation hold. So I've lost sales from that site from that. Yeah.
Today, 2 years later, nothing has been resolved. I'm still expressing that this is a serious issue that did and continues to cause me harm. I have been unable to operate my businesses and unable to move forward with planning my future because the team that has been retained to represent Penske on this claim has purposely ignored, delayed, and refused to settle this claim fairly. Initially, I was asking for $93,816.90 for a set of 57 pages of damages that I documented while I was unloading the truck. I took many photos as I did this so I could prove that the damages happened directly from the towing and would be time-stamped for insurance purposes. I specifically noted that the total did not include a valuable black antique chandelier that was purchased in New York. These were mainly bulky furniture and decor items that had been scratched and stained with rust that was on the back interior door of the truck. As I stated with Shailene, I did not open and inspect any additional damages that could have happened to the breakables inside of the boxes. The 57-page PDF sent to all of the Penske representatives that included A. April 1st, 2023, a photo of the service to billet truck light that came on in Sherwood Park. B. April 1st, 2023, a photo of the service traction control light that came on in Sherwood Park. C. April 3rd, 2023, a photo of the Penske mechanic that came to my parents' home to unjam the door, and he recommended that I unload the truck and bring it to the dealership in Edmonton. D. April 6, 2023, a photo of the engine light that came on in Edmonton. E. A breakdown summary that totaled $93,816.90 for damages not including the black antique chandelier. F. A spreadsheet of lines 1 to 23 showing the CAD and USD totals. G. A spreadsheet of lines 24 to 48 showing the CAD and USD totals. H. A printout of April 5th, 2023 and May 12th, 2023 of the storage unit rental in Edmonton. I. A printout of July 1st, 2023 and August 1st, 2023 of the storage unit rental in Edmonton. J. Number 9, the Motel 6 Mooseman bill. K. Number 9, the second page of the Motel 6 Mooseman bill, $250.70. L. Number 10, iMac computer, photos that show the damages and replacement costs. M. Number 11, MacBook Pro, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. N. Number 15, Sarah Lunga Lady Jane lamp, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. O. Number 16, black antique New York chandelier, photos that show the damages. P. Number 16, black antique New York chandelier, photos that show the damages. Q. Number 16, black antique New York chandelier, photos that show the damages and flecks on the table. R. Number 16, black antique New York chandelier, photos that show the damages and flecks on the table. S. Number 17, flue bed photos that show the damages and replacement cost. T. Number 17, flue bed photos that show the damages and replacement cost. U. Number 18, ceiling mattress photos that show the damages and replacement cost. V. Number 18, ceiling mattress photos that show the damages and replacement cost. W. Number 19 and 20, Eilerson playground couches, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. X. Number 19 and 20, Eilerson playground couches, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Y. Number 21, leather bench, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Z. Number 21, leather bench, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. AA. Number 22, 23, 24, Roche Bobois bar stools, photo in mansion home. B. Comparables that I gave the insurance company. C. 22, 23, 24, Roche Bobois bar stools from the Roche Bobois store in Montreal. D. 22, 23, 24, Roche Bobois bar stools, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. E. 22, 23, 24, Roche Bobois bar stools, photos that show the damages. F. 22, 23, 24, Roche Bobois bar stools, price list from the Roche Bobois store. G. 24, Roche Bobois extra cushions, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. H. 24, Roche Bobois extra cushions, price list from the Roche Bobois store. I. 25, brushed metal makeup vanity, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. J. 26, brushed metal table, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. K. 27, brushed metal full-length mirror, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. L. 28, Sony CD player, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. M. 29, Kipling luggage, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. N. Number 30, oval mirror dresser, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. O. 31, crystal lamp, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double P, 32, lampshade, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double Q, 33, Caligaris extendable dining table, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double R, Caligaris table tangled up in the back. Double S, 34, Caligaris chairs, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double T, 35, black and silver luxury rug, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double U, 36, mirror wall art, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double V, 37, bathroom wall sconce light, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double W, 38, dragging garbage pail, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double X, 39, century combination safe, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double Y, 40, Salomon skis and bindings, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Double Z, 41, patio furniture, photos that show the damages and display on patio in mansion home. Triple A, patio furniture, photos that show the damages. Triple B, patio furniture, photos that show the damages. Triple C, 41, rattan patio furniture, replacement cost. Triple D, 42, rattan patio furniture, replacement cost. Triple E, 43, rattan patio furniture, replacement cost. Triple F, 44, rattan patio furniture, replacement cost. Triple G, 45, heart candle holder, photos that show the damages and replacement cost. Triple H, 45, heart candle holder, photos that show the damages. Triple I, 45, heart candle holder, photos that show the damages. Our second meeting happened at the Claims Pro office in Edmonton, located on Roper Road. I flew in from California, expecting to settle the claim, only to be presented with a frivolous offer of $10,450.70. Everything I told Sam Patel and Jillian McGeechee was ignored, and I felt like I did all that work for nothing. They refused to discuss anything specifically, and they told me they had no decision-making power, that Colleen from Gallagher Bassett was the one who approves things, and then they refused to ever verbally talk to me again. The emails piled up. The storage unit is a garage style located outdoors in a remote area that was hard to get to from where I was temporarily staying while I was stranded in Edmonton. There is no power, water, bathroom facilities, garbage disposal, or internet available. Nobody from the Penske team offered to help me at all. I was also injured with a broken rib that happened as I was unloading and was unable to lift heavy boxes at that time. These were doctor's orders. I have repeatedly sent Alexander Curry copies of orders that I continue to receive on my multiple platforms that I have to cancel because I am unable to ship them out, and he never responds to any of them. I am reminding him that they still exist and that he is still ruining what is left of my business, and I have begun to realize that the defendant's actions are malicious and intentional and meant to purposely cause me economic harm. There is a pattern happening, and this group does not want me having a retail business or a media company. His negligence in handling this claim is causing me economic loss. An email was sent to Alexander Curry on April 14, 2024, offering a solution and reminding him that, as per his instruction, I was not allowed to contact his clients. That includes Jillian McGeechee from Claims Pro. This was option 3. That involved me going to Edmonton and shipping boxes of inventory at his expense to his office in Toronto to at least partly deal with the situation. He never responded to this idea. The items in my storage unit are all designer brands, discovered and purchased mainly in America and online, and it will be difficult, if not impossible, to replace them in Canada. So this fact needs to be comprehended by the people dealing with this claim. I traveled all over America to purchase these unique, rare, one-of-a-kind items, spent daily time online since at least 2002, and shopping was a full-time business for me. This team undervalued my time, but yet paid their own people their desired salaries. I need to be compensated for the years that it took me to shop for these items, as well as the years it will take me to repurchase them. travel and accommodations need to be provided all over the world to search for these items. Additionally, I have a file folder that has 7,172 items, 40.58 gigabytes, that was sent to Alexander Curry on August 29, 2024. This folder is comprised of what I documented inside the Edmonton storage unit. I spent 12 days photographing and taking videos of these items. These items have not been addressed by the insurance company at all, as I am prohibited from contacting them. The only person I am able to communicate with is the lawyer, and he refuses to have a verbal conversation with me, forcing me to send useless emails that never solve or resolve anything. I created a spreadsheet on the retail surf merchandise that totaled over $220,000. I then presented a Roberto Cavalli dress to Mr. Curry in an email and showed him how it has been directly ruined by the Penske claim. This dress has been wrinkled beyond repair. It was left sitting in the storage unit, baking in the sun and freezing in the winter months. This dress is rare, as Rihanna wore it to the 2008 Grammy Awards. Mr. Curry was asked multiple times by email how we deal with this item. He was told that there is not a Roberto Cavalli store in Canada. It was made in Italy. He was sent a collection of other vintage dresses that show the value of that market. He still has not responded by email. I am not sure how to proceed with Mr. Curry, as I cannot force him to reply or resolve this. This is just one dress. And there are over 7,000 other photos and videos in that file folder to discuss. He is the only person I was able to speak with on this. I made a video on this dress being destroyed, and it is uploaded to my Tigress YouTube channel. The main item that we need to discuss and have not discussed is the antique black chandelier, the chandelier, that was purchased in a boutique in New York City in 2008. This chandelier is part of a collection of Britney Spears outfits that are arguably the most famous collection of celebrity memorabilia ever. That makes this chandelier the most famous chandelier in the world, ranking it number 1, and the Penske truck towing accident damaged it. Sam Mizrahi from The One was on record speaking about luxury chandeliers as art and promoting the Baccarat collection that is very similar to the one I had damaged. This item is irreplaceable art and needs to be recognized as such. I also attempted to speak with Mr. Curry by email that I have my Range Rover stranded in Edmonton. I have repeatedly asked him what I do with it. I still do not have a permanent address, as that never materialized in Calgary as I planned, and therefore this vehicle has become an issue and a burden. As I explained to Mr. Curry, I am mostly residing in Toronto, where I don't need this vehicle. I do not wish to ship it, nor do I wish to pay outrageous parking for it. Had the Penske accident not have happened, I would need this vehicle in Calgary, where I was headed. It has also been left to sit and bake in the record-breaking hot and cold temperatures in Alberta. A hornet's nest appeared on it, and I'm asking for this to be replaced. I've asked Mr. Curry 13 times to address this issue of my vehicle. A combination of living in downtown Toronto on Bay Street since 2020 and reporting on the problems of the city that were discovered while there have tainted the love for the current Canadian fashion regime. This fashion regime has been excessively copied in every mall all over Ontario and then the rest of Canada, resulting in a repetitive, boring, oversaturated shopping experience that is undesirable. The closure of the Hudson's Bay is a significant event that has changed the game. Most recently, the ongoing trade tensions with the United States, the threat of tariffs, retaliatory tariffs, and the newly imposed tariffs, the trade war, have made it extremely challenging to assess this claim. The uncertainty in the financial markets, including the currency fluctuation, will make it more difficult and more costly for business in Canada. These tariffs will most definitely have the secondary effect of higher cost of goods. We've already witnessed irrational politicians such as Doug Ford completely boycott and pull all American-made alcohol off the shelves, actually preventing the purchase in Canada. This action is in line with fascist ideologies. Should this reach the retail clothing industry, where these same politicians pull American-made clothing off the shelves, this will affect my claim substantially, because as of today, it remains unsettled, and not one item in that 16-foot Penske truck has been repurchased. As we also witnessed during COVID, was the complete closure of the USA-Canada border. Should tensions rise irreparably to the point where the border closure happens again, I will not be able to purchase these items if I am in Canada, and this deeply concerns me, and why I'm asking for dual citizenship to deal with the situation if that event happens and travel to the USA is restricted or banned. For the last 2 years, I've been dealing with non-stop abuse from a system that was supposed to be put in place to protect both the insured and myself. Instead, it deprived me of my fundamental rights, including my right to speech. This system has been set up to purposely disregard claims in a way that gives the opposite side the ability to hide behind email communication and legal abuse as keyboard warriors, not saying the things that they would normally be forced to say in a direct, natural conversation. The abuse of the email system means that they did not hear my communication verbally, and there is no accountability or guarantee that they ever even read it at all. The email system is designed to remove emotion from the conversation, therefore allowing the other side to not hear the victim's sadness, anger, pain, and tears, therefore making it easier to ignore and just not care. When you are a victim of a traumatic event and your emotions are not heard by the professionals who are paid to listen to them, that is abuse of the lowest form, and these people should no longer be employed. This insurance and legal group used email to unreasonably stall, delay, and deprive me of my basic human rights. I've been unable to say one verbal word in this case to anyone since my interaction with Gregory Davis in Toronto at his office on October 23, 2023, and his response proves exactly what I'm saying is true. These agents hide in their skyscrapers that are locked up, unavailable for human interaction, and become evil villains who would not act the way they do in a natural face-to-face meeting, where they are forced to do the right thing as their speech and body language could be recorded as I did. These people do not like these physical interactions at all, and that is why Gregory kicked me out. And then he responded by email, which displayed his incompetence using that method. The group denied me the right to a safe, secure home and security of the person. That caused malicious, evil things to happen to me that I do not believe were coincidental. They are still continuing the email abuse, trying to get this case dismissed or stayed, and have introduced a new lawyer who does not know the history and will need time to understand the events. Meanwhile, I'm still stuck in the same position, and they can continue the abuse on my life as I am waiting for them to learn basic mathematics, addition, communicate in a normal conversation, and pay me fairly. Time is of the essence, and I need this dealt with immediately. The evidence in this trial will show that they disregarded everything I told them, denied me the right to work and reside in the city of my choosing, and their incompetence continues to happen, and they get a wage for doing it. I have been displaced for 2 years. This situation is an emergency and urgent, and the lawyers and insurance adjusters all know that, but yet they are purposely disregarding it, denying me justice, fairness, and equality before the law. April 22nd, 2025.